Before we get to the lost car, we need to understand the man behind it, Dale Earnhardt Sr. He wasn't just another driver in NASCAR. He was a legend, a symbol of courage and competition. Born in a small town in North Carolina, Dale grew up in a racing family. His father was also a racer, and Dale followed in his footsteps. But Dale didn't just follow, he raced ahead of everyone. People called him the Intimidator because he never backed down on the track. He drove the black No. 3 car, and when fans saw that car, they knew something big was going to happen. Dale wasn't just fast, he was fearless. In his 27-year career, he won 76 Winston Cup races and 7 championships. That's an incredible record. He didn't just win, he raced with passion. Every turn, every lap was like a battle to him. He would bump into other cars, block them, and do whatever it took to win. And he always had a small smile on his face, like he knew he could beat you. Some fans loved him. Some didn't, but everyone respected him. When Dale died in a crash on the final lap of the Daytona 500 in 2001, the whole racing world felt the loss, grown men cried. Flags flew at half-mast. NASCAR had lost its biggest hero, and fans had lost someone who felt like family. But even though Dale was gone, his story wasn't finished. 20 years after his death, something surprising was discovered: a locked garage on a piece of land that once belonged to the Earnhardt family. Inside was something no one expected, a hidden race car. This wasn't just any car. It was a car that had not been touched in over 2 decades. Most of Dale's cars were either in museums, sold to collectors, or kept by Richard Childress Racing, the team he raced for. But this one was different. It had disappeared without a trace. Some people in the racing world remembered a certain car. From the late 1990s, it had raced during a tough event and then was never seen again. There were no photos, no records, no mention of it after that race. Many people thought the car had been destroyed or used for spare parts. But a few believed something else, that Dale himself had taken it away and hidden it. Without telling anyone why. In 2023, a group of workers bought the land where Dale once lived. They were not looking for race cars, they just wanted to use the property to store old tools and parts, but they noticed an old garage at the edge of the land. It looked different from the rest of the property. The building had no windows, no lights, and a big rusty lock on the door. It looked like no one had been inside for many years. Curious, they decided to break the lock and look inside. It took hours of work, cutting vines and struggling with the rusted door. But when they finally opened it, they were stunned. The garage was dark and dusty. There was a strong smell of oil and rubber. In the middle of the garage sat a large object covered by a heavy tarp. It didn't look like garbage. It looked like something that had been hidden on purpose. They carefully pulled back the cover. What they saw left them speechless. Underneath the dust was a black Chevrolet Monte Carlo race car. It had the shape, the design, and the feel of the late 1990s NASCAR cars. The tires were cracked but still full of air. The windshield was dirty but not broken. The decals on the side were faded, but if you looked closely you could still see the old good-drenched logos and even the outline of the famous number 3. It wasn't painted on like usual. It had been rubbed off, almost respectfully, as if someone had tried to hide it but not completely erase it. Inside the car, everything was still there: the driver's seat molded to Dale's body shape, the steering wheel, and even the seat belts still buckled. On the passenger side, they found a folded piece of paper. It was a note, written by hand. It said, "Never fix this. Let it remember for me." That note sent chills down everyone's spine. Experts later compared the handwriting to other notes Dale had written, and they confirmed it was likely real. This was not just an old race car. This was a part of Dale Earnhardt's heart and soul, locked away from the world for a reason only. He knew after the car was found, experts came in to study it. They quickly realized this was not a replica or a fake. It was a real race-used NASCAR car from Dale's career. The VIN numbers matched old records. The body, the engine bay, the decals, all of it told a story. It had not been cleaned, repaired, or moved in over 20 years. The team even found small things that only someone close to Dale would have known, like the custom steering wheel made just for his hands, and the unique padding in the seat. These were not things that could be faked. This was Dale's car, frozen in time, but why had it been hidden? That question started a wave of discussion across the NASCAR community. People dug through race records and old footage. Eventually, they traced the car back to one race, the 1997 Earnhardt 500 at Talladega. It was a hot, tough race. Speeds were high, tempers were short. Dale started strong and stayed in the top 5 for much of the day. But on lap 142, something went wrong. A new driver made a mistake and a huge crash followed. Dale's car was hit hard and slammed into the inside wall. Thankfully, he wasn't seriously injured. He walked away with only bruises. But his attitude seemed to change after that day. He told his team not to repair the car. He didn't want it rebuilt or used again. He simply said, "That car's had its day. Let it rest." At the time, no one thought much of it. They moved on to the next race with a new car. But now, with this car found and that mysterious note inside, it seems like Dale had deeper feelings than he ever shared. Maybe he was frustrated with the way NASCAR was changing. Maybe he felt that younger drivers weren't following the old-school rules of respect. Maybe that crash reminded him that he was getting older and that racing was moving into a new era. This car might have symbolized a turning point in his life, a moment when he realized things would never be the same again. Fans and historians now call this moment the Earnhardt Echo. They believe this was the start of a more thoughtful side of Dale. In the years after 1997, Dale started mentoring younger drivers. He became less aggressive and more careful. He still raced hard, but he also cared about the future of the sport. Maybe this car was a reminder of the moment when everything changed for him. And maybe that's why he hid it. Not to forget, but to protect it. To freeze it just as it was. Some believe it was like a personal letter to himself, a way to hold on to a powerful memory. Others believe it was his way of showing respect to the sport he loved, even when it broke his heart. Since the discovery, fans have been debating what to do with the car. Some want it put in the NASCAR Hall of Fame exactly as it was found, with the dust, the dents, the note, and everything else. They say it should be displayed as a raw and real tribute to Dale's true nature. Others think the car should be cleaned and restored, then driven again for tribute laps at a future race. It would be a powerful moment to see the car back on the track, even if just for one final lap. And some people believe the car should go right back into hiding. They say that if Dale didn't want anyone to see it, maybe we should honor that wish. Maybe the best way to respect him is to lock the garage again and let the car remain his secret. There's no clear answer. The Earnhardt family has not made any public statements, and the car remains in a secret location under tight security. No one knows what will happen next. But what's clear is that this car has become more than just a piece of racing history. It's become a symbol, a story in metal and oil, carrying the emotions of a man who was both strong and silent, bold and reflective. What makes this discovery so powerful isn't just the car, it's what the car represents. Dale Earnhardt Sr. was known for being tough, competitive, and driven, but this hidden car shows another side of him, a side that was quiet, emotional, and deeply personal. He didn't hide the car because it was broken. He didn't throw it away. He kept it exactly the way it was, dusty, dented, and untouched. He even left a note that tells us this was important to him in a way that can't be measured by wins or trophies. This was something only he understood, and that's what makes it so mysterious and meaningful. For fans who grew up watching Dale race, this car is a powerful reminder that even the strongest people carry emotions they don't always show. Sometimes the things we hide say more than the things we share. Maybe this car reminded Dale of a day that changed him forever. Maybe it was a symbol of how fast everything can change in racing and in life. And maybe, just maybe, it was his way of saying goodbye to the past. Since the story broke, the racing world hasn't stopped talking about it. People from all over the world have shared their thoughts, feelings, and memories of Dale. Some remember meeting him at races. Others remember watching him on TV with their families. Everyone has a story. And now, this car has become part of that larger story. It connects Dale's past with our present. It reminds us that legends are not just built on wins, but on the moments that shape them as people. The car is not famous because it won a race. It's famous because it was forgotten on purpose and now remembered again. It's not about speed, it's about meaning. And that's something you can't find in a trophy case. In the end, Dale Earnhardt's Black No. 3 will always be remembered. But this hidden car, this quiet Monte Carlo, tells a different story. It tells us that behind the legend was a man who felt deeply, who remembered pain, and who wanted to hold on to one part of his journey without the world watching. Whether this car is displayed, restored, or hidden again, its story will live on. It will remind us that sometimes the most powerful things are the ones we keep to ourselves. This isn't just about racing. It's about legacy, memory, and the human side of greatness. Dale Earnhardt showed the world what it meant to be fearless. But this car shows us what it means to be human. And for that reason, it may be the most important car he ever drove, not for how it raced, but for how it made him feel. Now that we've opened the door and seen what Dale kept hidden, the question is no longer, why did he hide it? But what should we do with it now? Maybe. The answer is simple, let it remember. Just like he wanted. In the weeks following the discovery of Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s hidden car, the emotional weight of the moment continued to ripple through the NASCAR community. Former teammates, rival drivers, and longtime fans began sharing their own memories of Dale, not just the racer, but the man behind the wheel. Many recalled how, despite his tough exterior, Dale had moments of quiet thoughtfulness. He was known for walking through the garage in silence before a race, mentally preparing himself not just for speed, but for battle. He didn't need to speak much, his presence alone commanded respect. That same energy now seemed to live on in the car found in the forgotten garage. NASCAR historians dove deeper into interviews from the late 90s and began to notice subtle changes in Dale's language after that 1997 race at Talladega. Where he once spoke only about victory and domination, he started mentioning safety, responsibility, and what racing should stand for. It was clear something had shifted in his heart. Many believe the crash that day, though not serious physically, left a lasting impact on him emotionally. In a sport where drivers face life and death every weekend, it's not uncommon for one moment to shake even the toughest competitors. For Dale, that Monte Carlo may have been the physical reminder of that moment, a reminder he wanted to keep close, but not share. The car also sparked new conversations about legacy and memory. What does it mean when someone like Dale, famous for never showing weakness, leaves behind a symbol of quiet reflection? Is it a sign that he struggled with the changes in the sport? That he saw himself growing older in a younger driver's world? Or is it simply that Dale understood something we all do at some point in life, that not every part of our journey is meant to be seen? Some parts are just for us, private, protected, personal. As the car remains under wraps in its undisclosed location, there is still no word from the Earnhardt family. Some close to the family have said they are considering options but want to respect Dale's memory first and foremost. And maybe that's the most fitting tribute. For a man who built his name on being raw and real, maybe the car should remain untouched exactly as he left it, not for fame, not for a crowd, but as a symbol of his story, sealed in steel. This discovery has reminded the world that behind every legend is a human being, someone with hopes, fears, doubts, and deep emotions. Dale Earnhardt Sr. will always be remembered as the Intimidator, the fearless driver in black. But now, thanks to one hidden car and 9 simple words, we're also reminded of something even more important. Even heroes have moments they never forget. And sometimes they choose to leave behind more than a trophy. They leave behind a memory, quietly waiting to be found.